You open something to write. An email, a message, a document. You start typing. Then you stop. Because it's already there. Finished, suggested, ready to send. You read it. It sounds like you send it. And for a moment, you realize you didn't really do it. When systems complete work without needing your effort, contribution quietly stops being required. That's the shift, not when AI started helping, when effort stopped being necessary. Work was never just output, it was structure, routine, a place you were expected to be, a role only you could fill. You showed up, you contributed, and something depended on that. People relied on you, even in small ways. A decision, a task, a responsibility that wouldn't happen unless you did it. That mattered, because it made you necessary. When effort is required for outcomes, people feel connected to what happens because of them. You still recognize this feeling. Finishing something, solving something, being the reason something worked. That moment when something only happened because you did it. That's where meaning used to sit. Now that requirement is changing. You open ChatGPT to help write something. It produces a full response instantly. Not a draft, a finished version. You adjust a few words, then send it. The task is complete, but your effort wasn't necessary. You see this in smaller ways too. You start typing a message, and Gmail's Smart Compose finishes the sentence. You click Send. It worked, it saved time, but you didn't really form the thought. The system completed it for you. And once that starts happening often enough, you stop noticing where your effort ends, and the system's begins. Design tools like Midjourney or DALL-E generate images in seconds. Work that once took hours now appears instantly. Customer support systems like Zendesk AI handle conversations without human input. Requests are answered, problems resolved, without anyone needing to step in. And nothing breaks, everything still works. Sometimes better, faster, more efficiently. When systems can complete tasks without human effort, contribution becomes optional rather than necessary. You've already done this. Let something generate the work, accepted it, used it. Because it was easier, because it worked, and in that moment. You didn't just save time, you stepped out of the process. It's not just that the work disappears, it's that the feeling of being needed disappears with it. The real shift isn't speed, it's necessity. The moment something no longer depends on you, your role changes, not removed, but reduced. You're still there, you can still contribute. But the outcome doesn't require it. Developers use GitHub Copilot to generate code suggestions before they write anything themselves. Entire functions appear, already structured, already working. You review, you accept. The work moves forward, but it didn't start with you. Warehouse systems like those used by Amazon coordinate movement, sorting, and logistics with minimal human input. Tasks are assigned, optimized, executed, without needing individual decision-making at each step. You feel this in smaller ways. You open something to do a task, and it's already been done, or partially done, or predicted, and you realize your input wasn't required for it to happen. When outcomes no longer depend on human input, contribution stops being the foundation of value. And once contribution becomes optional, something more important begins to shift. And once nothing depends on your effort, it becomes harder to know what your effort is for. Nothing collapses. Work still exists. Tasks still happen. Systems still produce results. But something feels different. You are no longer required in the same way. You can still act, still create, still contribute. But fewer things depend on it. That changes something subtle, because effort used to carry weight. It meant something depended on you. It connected you to what happened next. Now, outcomes happen, with or without you. When human effort is no longer required for outcomes, identity begins to separate from contribution. You may already feel the edge of this. You finish something, but it doesn't feel fully yours. You help something move forward, but it didn't need your help. The structure is still there. The activity is still there, but the necessity isn't. And without necessity, meaning becomes harder to locate, not gone, just less clear. And over time, it's not just the work that changes, it's how you measure your place in the world. Because if nothing depends on you, the question changes. Not, what do I need to do? But where am I actually needed? And once that question appears, it doesn't disappear easily. If nothing depends on your effort, what exactly gives it meaning? If this felt unsettling, it's because work has never just been about productivity. It's been about being needed. And once that changes, so does how we understand ourselves. If this made you reflect on how your role is already shifting, tap the like button. It helps more people recognize what's changing beneath the surface. Subscribe to become part of the Unlocked, where we explore what still belongs to humanity as systems become more capable. And if someone you know still believes work is only about output, share this with them. Because the deepest change isn't automation. It's what happens when nothing needs you anymore. Because the future isn't coming. It's already here.